It was the 4th of July, and I felt like getting out of the city and go check out a fly-in campground someone had told me about. Sean didn't feel like going, so I was flying solo. After departing Camas, I needed to turn around and travel eastward through the Columbia Gorge for a little while to get out from under the overcast. Sure enough, by the time I reached Cascade Locks, I was able to turn to the north and safely stay clear of clouds. Mountains and clouds don't go well together, at least not for a pilot flying by visual flight rules. I had to make sure it was safe enough to continue. On a clearer day, you'd be able to see Mount Rainier off the left wing here. Dramatic terrain around Ranger Creek created some pretty squirrely winds, but I got down safely enough. This was actually my second approach into Ranger Creek. On the first approach, there were people and kids riding their bikes up and down the runway, so I gave them time to get out of the way so that I could come around and try the landing again. I made it to Ranger Creek. It is the 4th of July, and I hear all kinds of fireworks and what might be assault rifles. There's a lot of people here. I guess I'm not too surprised, but I'm the only airplane. So I'm gonna walk around, take a look at it, and see if it's worth staying here. I decided not to spend the night, so I jumped back in the airplane, started it up, the sound of which drew a large audience to watch me take off. Okay, the large audience was really about 4 or 5 people, but I knew there would be some kids and maybe future pilots watching, so I tried to make it a nice one. And there you saw a little bit of crosswind hitting the tail as I rocked the wings and climbed into the sky. I took off, turned around, and headed due south, headed towards Sisters, Oregon. The closer I got to the Columbia Gorge, the more the skies cleared. Soon I'd be able to climb to a decent cruising altitude. After passing Mount Adams off the left wing, I was able to climb to 9,500 feet and just enjoy the scenery. Just south of Hood River, there is a giant swath of solidified lava that flowed from Mount Hood. I never knew it was there until I saw it from the air. I altered my route to Sisters to fly just west of the summit of Mount Hood. The snowmelt not only creates innumerable waterfalls in the valleys below, but it reveals all kinds of interesting colors on the face of Mount Hood. This is as close as I dare get to the mountain, and even then, only on a very calm, peaceful day. Otherwise, I give it a wide berth. I was expecting some gusty crosswinds at Sisters, so I double and triple checked all of the information I needed to know about the airport prior to my arrival. I do this anyway, but this time I went the extra step of writing it down just in case I started getting bumped around. I pitched the airplane for a descent rate of 500 feet per minute and began my approach into Sisters, Oregon. The town gets its name from the Three Sisters Mountains, North Sister, Middle Sister, and South Sister, just west of the town. Seatbelts tightened, everything strapped down. I was ready for a rough ride. If it looks like I'm flying crooked, sideways, and every which way, it's true. This was fighting some extreme crosswinds that were coming from the west, gusting and unpredictable. squeak you heard is the stall warning horn. You don't want to hear it unless you're an inch or two above the ground. That was scary. Not the prettiest landing, but a safe one, and happy to be on the ground. The Sisters Eagle Airport is open to the public, although it's privately owned. The owners, who I met a couple years ago, created a nice little campground and a huge lawn for you to park your airplane and take a load off. Well, the wind finally died down enough to build a fire. It's warm. I'm overdressed. Found a happy camper. This is pretty awesome. The little kid in me always gets excited when I hear an airplane taking off or landing. I couldn't resist jumping out of the tent to catch this departure. Night in the low 30s. Gonna pack up the tent here, pre-flight the airplane, and get going. Unlike the previous afternoon, the winds were perfectly still this morning. And here you can see the entire town of Sisters. With enough fuel to get home, plus a nice safety margin, I also had a bit extra to take in a little bit of sightseeing on the way home since I'd be following the Cascade Range to the north. Looking west, you can see the Willamette Valley is still pretty socked in. I was going to have to continue north and stay east of Mount Hood until I could safely descend into the Columbia Gorge and then find my way back home under the overcast. I found safe passage into the Columbia Gorge through the Eagle Creek Wilderness. I made a straight-in approach for runway 25 at Camas Grove Airport, just across the river from Portland. This is where the airplane stays hangared. The winds at Camas Grove can be a little squirrely, but this morning they were perfectly calm. A fun adventure. Back on Sunday, gonna unpack the airplane, put it to bed, and get back home. Thanks again.